Welcome to USF 2000 AI. Okay, cones. Welcome to USF 2000 AI League Season 3 Race 21 here at Laguna, Seca. 5 races to go in the championship, so let's show your championship standings. Jack Daniels still continuing to grow his lead, 725 points. That's about 63 above Karl Marx, who is in second. Then we have Bob McFarland, Brendan Hubbard, John Christensen, who won Hockenheim, Tom O'Laughlin, Snoop Dogg, Alfredo Saucy, Big Bob, Icy Cow, Monsieur Bone, Dylan Pettigrew, Jack Steersman, Ethan Martz, Baguette Boy, Edgelord, and Chad Broski. So 5 races to go. On screen right now is Monsieur Bone, not going for the title really. I think he's just within the bounds of still eligible for the championship, but probably not for long. Right now he goes P1, but that really doesn't show anything since he is the only driver to have set a lap. As Bob McFarland sets a time, 140.0. Almost about a second ahead of Bone's time. As Brendan Hubbard goes P1 with a 138.5. Got a group of cars coming up to the corkscrew. If you do not know what the corkscrew is, here's a little... This is what it looks like. Heavy braking, chicane, downhill. Very quick elevation drop. You have to get slowed down a lot. Very difficult corner to perfect. Ethan Martz has gone off track in turn 3, it seems, but he is continuing to go. Big Bob goes 4th, 144.5. That's very off pace. Gonna need a lot more than that as Bone goes P1 with 134.2. So that shows you that those times set by Hubbard, McFarland, and Big Bob weren't really official times. Dylan Pettigrew goes a 139.8 as Bob McFarland goes 131.3, almost 3 seconds faster than Monsieur Bone. John Christensen goes 4th. Brendan Hubbard moves into second with a 131.5. Broski goes 4th. Ethan Martz goes 6th. Four minutes to go as most of our field has not set times yet. Baguette Boy goes to 4th. Big Bob goes up to 3rd as Monsieur Bone goes P1 with a 130.4. Dylan Pettigrew goes to 3rd. As now Bob McFarland goes P1 with a 129.5. Can anyone challenge? As Brendan Hubbard goes P1 with a 128.9. half a second above McFarland, as Jack Daniels is now being reported as going off track. He is right in front of this group. Icy Cow goes P4. Baguette Boy goes P3, about a second behind Hubbard. Two minutes to go, and as we are still waiting on Steersman, Daniels, O'Loughlin, and Edgelord to set laps. Pettigrew goes P4. Edgelord 14th. O'Loughlin goes up to 13th. Karl Marx goes up to 6th. Here's Steersman and Baguette Boy coming down the corkscrew. So over here you have Karl Marx and Brennan Hubbard, currently 1st and 6th in practice, but in points, Karl Marx is 2nd, Brennan Hubbard is 4th. One minute to go. We are still waiting on Jack Daniels and Jack Steersman, but Steersman, on screen right now, is about to come across the line. 15th. Not a good time. Snoop Dogg goes up to P3. Still waiting on Jack Daniels, who is our championship leader. People coming across the line now will get at least one more lap. Dylan Pettigrew goes up to P2 with a 128.97. That's about 400ths off of Hubbard. Edgelord up to 11th. O'Loughlin up to 7th. Here comes Jack Daniels coming out of turn 11. As he will set a P13. So he will not get another lap. His time ran out right before. So all 17 did set laps. Some more official than others. I'd say Big Bob on up were real times as Alfredo Saucy goes P1 with a 128.7. Kicks it into high gear right at the end. Christensen up to 9th. Dylan Pettigrew goes P1 with a 128.1. About half a second above Saucy. I think he got a good draft off of Christensen. Probably in the perfect draft distance. So your top 5: Pettigrew, Saucy, Hubbard, Dog, and McFarland. So here we go for qualifying. Half the time, there's always that one car that just refuses to set a lap, waits for the last second, and starts all the way in the back. Will anyone do that today? Hopefully not. Christensen, it showed that he was setting a time, but it was actually an out lap, so that didn't really count. He'll be the first person to set a lap. Jack Daniels, there's your championship leader, coming around turn 5. Going up into turn 6, he had a little bit of issues in practice at this turn. It's a pretty quick turn. A lot of the turns at Laguna Seca are relatively quick. As now Christensen is coming onto the front stretch. That's a time of 1:39.6, but that was because he is in pit road behind the start finish line, so it accidentally counts his lap. Jack Daniels also behind the line in pit lane, so those times don't really count. Currently, Christensen beat Jack Daniels in the first sector. Christensen went pink, Daniels only went green. We're gonna have to see what Daniels slower for the second sector. Christensen managed to hold off Jack Daniels at Hockenheim, so maybe a potential rivalry here. As Christensen goes pink in the fourth sector, gonna have to see what he does for the fifth sector. Jack Daniels goes pink in the third sector. What does Christensen have? Coming across the start finish line, it is pink again, 1:30.0. Jack Daniels went second with a 1:30.2. Here's Ethan Martz. You can see Snoop Dogg in the back goes green. Your leader right now, Christensen, with the 1:30.0. But Daniels about 2/10 off. Edgelord went off in turn 11. Christensen's going pink again. Bone goes up to fourth. Whoa. I don't know what happened there. That is a little weird. Christensen now getting a draft off of Marks. Got a slower fourth sector, but his fifth sector is pink again. But Marks goes P1. Christensen immediately to the top with a 1:27.5. Will this be 2 poles in a row for the 44? McFarland goes 12th. These guys aren't going to get another lap. Daniels goes P2, but it is not good enough. 129.0. Currently a 1.5 second lead for Christensen. Alfredo Saucy not good enough. Ethan Martz, what's he got? Coming out of the final turn, Snoop Dogg tracking all yellow. Ethan goes up to 12th. Dylan Pettigrew goes to P3, but is not good enough. Icy Cal, the only guy to not set a lap yet. He goes 12th. Big Bob up to 13th. Steersman to 13th. Edgelord and Bone come around. Edgelord goes up to 14th. Seems like McFarland's gonna have some digging to do. Christensen's gonna get another lap. It is not as good as his first one as Karl Marx goes up to 4th. Now we are going to show you starting grid here today for Laguna Seca. We got John Christensen on the pole with Jack Daniels starting next to him. Then we have Dylan Pettigrew and Karl Marx in row 2. Karl Marx has to get by Jack Daniels at the start. Baguette Boy and Tom O'Laughlin in row 3. Then we have Snoop Dogg and Monsieur Bone in row 4. Chad Broski and Alfredo Saucy are in row 5. And then Brennan Hubbard and Icy Cow are in row 6. Then we have Steersman and Edgelord in row 7. And in row 8, we have Big Bob and Ethan Martz. Then rounding out our field, we have Bob McFarland. Here's your race info. For some reason it went back to Celsius, but I can get that fixed. Here in Laguna Seca, relatively warm day. Laguna Seca track fact. Laguna Seca is one of the 3 tracks located in California on the schedule. The 2 other races are new, while Laguna Seca has been around since Season 1. Technically Season 0, but Season 0 didn't really finish, and it was a bit different than how we do it today. So we have a little bit of time before the start of the race. Let's go over your championship standings once again and know where they're starting. Yeah, Jack Daniels, he's going to be starting on the outside. He's going to need to try and get around Christensen right at the start because Karl Marx, he's going to be chasing him. And then Bob McFarland, third in the championship, he is starting in last place today. Brennan Hubbard, he's starting deep in the field as well. Christensen is on the pole. So that's your top 5 and where they're starting. So yeah, McFarland and Hubbard have some work to do. Marks just has to get around Daniels right at the start. And Christensen just needs to take off. He needs to defend, maybe push out as wide as possible. Dylan Pettigrew gonna be in third. He is almost mathematically ineligible for the championship. You'd need literally a miracle to happen today, which miracles can happen, but I think he'd need to win. He's in must-win scenarios for all 5 of these races that are left. Yeah, and then 5th place on the grid, Baguette Boy. He's ineligible for the championship. He's just gonna try and round out the season with some good points. Maybe another win or so. Yes, Brennan Hubbard gonna be starting 11th. He's gonna have some work to do. It's possible. Jack Daniels worked his way through the field yesterday. Well, not yesterday. It was actually 2 weeks ago at Hockenheim. And then in 2nd place, could not stretch his fuel to the end and had to make a pit stop. While Christensen was in 1st place, he just kept going. Bob McFarland made a mistake, pushed him all the way to the back. We are now on the pace laps. Currently heading up to the corkscrew. 28 lap race, so we have a long day. Well, probably about the same as every other race. Hopefully about an hour in length. Two turns to go. Pace car is going to pull into pit road. Pit road starts right before turn 11. Hopefully they all make it through turn 11, because I've seen the cars stack up as Christensen gets a good jump as green flag is out. 3 wide already in the back. What a jump, as he is going to lead us into the first turn. Jack Daniels already catching him, but Pettigrew's catching on to Daniels. Daniels making a move, as he will get him with ease. Not what Karl Marx wanted to see. He fell down to 5th. In the middle of the pack, we have a little bit of jostling around. Baguette Boy now trying to challenge Dylan Pettigrew for 3rd. He said all he wants is wins. Karl Marx fell back at the start, as Jack Daniels is already pulling away. Karl Marx needs to try and charge up through the field, but where he is, he's about to get passed by Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg tucks back in behind, doesn't want to risk anything. O'Loughlin 7th, Broski in 8th, Bone 9th, and then Alfredo Saucy is 10th. Making a move on Bone, you could see back there. I don't think he got the position. No, he did not. McFarland went for it. Start as edge. Oh! Big crash in the back. Let's go back in time and see what happened. Edgelord, Steersman, and Ethan, it said they all went off track. Edgelord went in way too quick. Ethan March, you could see, went off track a little, and then Steersman had to avoid him. Edgelord almost hit the tires trying to come back onto the track. Currently, he is far down behind the field. He isn't even across the start-finish line while everyone else has taken off. Broski now trying to chase O'Loughlin, as you see the group that was caught up in the chaos. Bob McFarland is in that group, now up 3 spots. He and Ethan are the biggest gainers, both up 3 spots. As up at the front, something interesting is happening. No, I don't want to see Edgelord. Christensen, he's catching back up to Daniels, but he's got Pettigrew right behind him, hunting. They're all within a second of each other. Second within the car in front, I should say, but still relatively close, as now they're starting to spread out on the straightaway. We're gonna have to see how well they break into the turn. Just trying to stay with them. Back within a second. He's gonna have to be chasing that 18, because Christensen's still in the championship battle. Oh, as now he's drafting him. He got him in that last sector. He's gonna have to make a move. Doesn't go for it. How's he gonna do in the corkscrew? Still staying with behind. He tried to make a peek. Still couldn't get him. Staying behind still. Dylan Pettigrew hopes they take each other out. Drafting. As he tries to make a look, doesn't go for it, as Edgelord has went off track again, but this time in the corkscrew, as Jack Daniels shoots wide. He's into the dirt. Christensen into the lead. Dylan Pettigrew into second. Jack Daniels locked up the brakes going into the turn, as now he falls back to third. a mistake, as remember the competition's going to be coming out soon on lap 7. As he's now going to have to try and gain those positions back, as back here McFarland trying to look for a way around Mart. Can't quite get it. He's got to charge hard to get up to the championship. After this is a half mile at Martinsville. I expect some calamity there. And then we go to Brazil at Interlagos. And then we go to Long Beach, which has got to be chaotic, knowing how tight the course is. And then we're going to Auto Club, which I have high expectations for, as Baguette Boy. He's trying to close in on Daniels. He's now within a position to attack. He's got to get by before the competition caution, which will come out next lap. He thought about taking a move, but thought otherwise, as will he be able to get him up in the corkscrew? As though Christensen went off track at the corkscrew, handing Pettigrew the lead. I think he just overshot. Yeah, apparently he just overshot, locked up the brakes, very similar to what Jack Daniels did at the Andretti hairpin in turn 2. Yellow flag is now out for competition caution. As McFarland and Steersman are now being reported as crashed. What happened back here? Was it just a fluke on our timing system, or... Oh no, Ethan went off track, and then they just stopped. Ethan lights up the brakes, went wide. Yeah, it just seems like too fast going into turn 11, which is one of the tighter turns. Just completely locked up the brakes, and there he went. Maybe having some issues with tires. Dylan Pettigrew currently has caught up to the pace car, so I think they'll be pitting this lap. Christensen now into second. Gonna have to beat him on the pit stop. Dylan has never won on a road course in series history. He won at Charlotte in season 1, then had a really bad season in season 2, and then finally won again at Iowa, which was the final race to not be broadcasted. Every other race since then has been recorded and uploaded. So far, your biggest mover is Bob McFarland, up 4 spots since the start. Got by Steersman, Big Bob, Ethan Martz, and Edgelord. And then nobody has really lost a lot besides Edgelord, who has lost 3 spots. As here we go for the pit stops. How will they do? The better you qualified, the further down in the pit stall, well, the further down in pit lane your pit stall will be. How are they gonna pit? Will Christensen beat him out? 8.2 for Pettigrew, Christensen 9.3. Daniel's still in pit road as he is losing a lot of spots with a 12.8. Very bad pit stop for him. Down to 7th, maybe? Very bad restart for him. Alfredo Saucy is right behind him now. 13.5 for Icy Cow. That was really bad. Edgelord, the last car, still in pit road. Your best pit stop was a 7-second by Bone. He's now up into 5th. And then your worst pit stop was a 15.3 from O'Laughlin, who's now in 12th. As your biggest mover is still Bob McFarland, but now up 8 spots with an 8.1. Dylan Pettigrew keeps the lead, Christensen up to 2nd. Very good news for Marks. As, oh, Marks and Christensen come into pit road again. They must have had an issue. As they are back in pit road, maybe made contact. And now have damage. Nothing seems to go Karl Marx's way. He's now down into 15th. And now 16th. Or maybe even got a penalty. It's hard to say what happened, but I don't know what that test is, but okay. So now Baguette Boy into 2nd and Bone moves into 3rd. Good news for Daniels and McFarland. Awful news for Marks. He is now down into 15th. Another thorn in his side. He still has time before Auto Club. We're going to be going green this time. Karl Marx still has time to rebound, but only about 4 races, a total of 5 races worth after this one, because Auto Club is double points. Here we come, pace car is off, through turn 11. Green flag is back out. We are racing at Laguna Seca once again, and more stack ups in the back of the field. Pettigrew still holds on to the lead. Going through turn 2. Jack Daniels didn't really get that good of a restart once again. But now Daniels is going to have to defend from Alfredo Saucy and Bob McFarland, who are right on their heels. So he had a really good exit in that turn, trying to close in on Chad Broski and get ahead. Pettigrew's now up to about a second lead, as he's going to try and get around Broski, can't get it done, into the corkscrew. Christensen fell to last place on that restart, so he is now the biggest loser, down 16 spots. Karl Marx is down 10, while McFarland is up 10. They're battling for second in the championship, as Alfredo Saucy's now trying to defend from McFarland. McFarland now in the draft. What's he got for this turn? Cones have been knocked out by someone. Heavy braking into turn 2. Not the slowest hairpin on the calendar. Long Beach has an even tighter hairpin. Pettigrew now up to about a 1.5 second lead. As Brendan Hubbard trying to look around Snoop Dogg for 8th. McFarland's now gonna try and make a peek on Saucy. He thinks otherwise once again. Heavy braking as Alfredo Saucy almost overshot the turn. Closest battle on tracks are right here. O'Loughlin right behind Hubbard. Hubbard trying to get around Snoop Dogg. Charging into the hairpin. Still no pass. The most recent pass was a little bit ago when Hubbard got around O'Loughlin. John Christensen now got by Edgelord, as you saw back there. Christensen now trying to charge around Martz. Tries to make a peek, but doesn't work. Baguette Boy now trying to defend. from Bone. He's gonna try and look to the inside. Can't get it done, but he's right behind him now. As you see back there, Broski trying to defend Daniels. As Broski tried looking around Bone as Bone severely fell behind Baguette Boy. Broski trying to make a peek as he's also trying to defend from Daniels. We're about halfway through the race now. Broski gonna try and take a look on the outside. Gets tucked back in. He's still trying to hang on to fourth as now Alfredo Saucy has caught the tail end of this group. Soon McFarland will catch. Baguette Boy still trying to close the gap to Pettigrew, but it's up to about 3 seconds now. Broski Chill still trying to catch Bone. As Daniels is now trying to hold off Alfredo Saucy. Are they gonna do into the corkscrew? Still relatively the same positions, not a lot of passing is happening on track. Karl Marx got around Big Bob a little bit ago. But nothing of big importance except we do have lots of groups forming up. A lot of clumping. So now Daniels still has Alfredo Saucy on his heels. Now Daniels to the back of Broski. Here's a good turn to pass. Daniels gonna try and shoot it up the inside. Can Broski hang on? They're gonna be side by side down the straight, but Daniels gonna have to tuck back in behind. Almost made the pass work. Brendan Hubbard has now went off track. O'Loughlin's gone off track. Brennan has spun in turn 6. As now Hubbard is starting to fall down in the standings. Great news for McFarland, Marks, and Christensen as Hubbard is still stranded as he has finally got going again. But now is 36 seconds behind the leader and about 7 seconds behind Edgelord, who is the car in front. As Broski's now going to try and make a move on Bone as Alfredo Saucy's defending from McFarland. Oh, how's this gonna work? Alfredo Saucy heavy on the brakes, but still keeps his position. As Broski's still trying to hunt down Bone. You have to be really aggressive to pass at this track. It's now Broski trying to battle the car in front. As McFarland tried to make a peek on Saucy. He may have done the crossover, but they still keep their position. A lot of attempted passing is happening on track, but not a lot of actual passing. Broski and Bone have kind of broken away from the pack behind them as Alfredo Saucy tried to make a peek on Daniels. Hubbard's already caught up to Edgelord back there. That was actually his fastest lap so far. Great racing from Hubbard. As Bone has now went off track. Bone went off track. You saw on camera. He is struggling to get going again. Alfredo Saucy still trying to draft, as that is another position for Daniels. Bone finally got going. No, Bone did not get going. Broski's now went off track. What is happening now? As he went far off track, he even hit the wall, heavy on the brakes, then boom, straight into the wall. Very hard hit. He is now out of the race. As Jack Daniels got by Chad Broski as he went off track, yet another position for Daniels. Just everything's going right for him this season. As we go up ahead, we see Baguette Boy and Dylan Pettigrew charging into the corkscrew. Baguette Boy about half a second back. Will he be able to get him? Bone is now getting repairs in pit road. A lap down. Baguette Boy still trying to get around Pettigrew. Still has a lot of time left. No one behind Baguette Boy. 11 seconds back is Daniels. He's just trying to close the gap, but struggling a little bit. Just to show you some of the speeds. Oh yeah, it's in kilometers per hour. Nobody knows kilometers in America. I don't know how fast a kilometer per hour is. Sadness. Christensen and Hubbard are now battling for position. Christensen still has not been able to get behind Martz. One of Ethan Martz's best skills has been keeping cars behind him. As Alfredo Saucy lights up the brakes, heavy smoke coming out from behind, as Jack Daniels just did his fastest lap, 1:26.2. Jesus Christ, Daniels is gonna win again. Edgelord is reported as going out off track again, this time in turn 10. Get together, man. As Daniels is now closing in on the leaders. It's Christensen and as Martz actually went off track in turn 2, letting Christensen and Hubbard finally get by. Christensen up to 13th, Hubbard up to 14th. Both 4th and 5th in the championship. McFarland still trying to chase down Alfredo Saucy, as O'Loughlin still stalking Snoop Dogg. Broski just did one of his fastest laps as he is closing in on Daniels. Chad Broski currently 17th in points, started the season very late. About 7 laps to go. Steersman just turned his fastest lap as Jack Daniels went off track, but still remains ahead of Broski. Will Broski be able to catch him? Daniels has went off track a couple times. Here's the amount of times everyone's went off track. Ethan's went off track 5 times. Edgelord has went off 3 times. Daniel's gone off 2 times. It's Karl Marx still clawing his way back up through the field. Pettigrew has gone off track. He remains ahead of Baguette Boy, but it is now incredibly closer. Jack Daniels still trying to hold off Broski. Alfredo Saucy still trying to hold off McFarland. Even Martz has gone off track again. This time in turn 11. Make that 6 times for Ethan. Daniel's still getting hunted by Broski. It's about half second. McFarland still trying to chase Saucy. There's not a lot of passing is going on here at Laguna Seca today. Edgelord has went off track again. As Edgelord may have actually crashed pretty hard this time. He has got going again. What happened? Uh, Oh, that got really close, it seemed. Locks up a brake, slides into the turn, into the dirt, and then, woo, that got very close between him and Martz. Could have been a pretty hard collision, because that's not a very slow corner. As Daniels has went off track. Gets going again, but what happened to him? Was it the same thing? Oh, even a tap to the wall. Too fast. Hit the wall. There's gotta be damage to his car. He is now fallen out of the podium. The pressure got to him. As now Broski got past him for third place. I can see a little bit of damage to his front wing as even Mart goes off track again. It's always the same people. How? You know what, a better question would just be why? Ethan is going very slow now. Still, McFarland is chasing, as O'Laughlin may actually be able to get around Snoop Dogg. Gonna have to see, stay in the draft. He chickens out and will not make the pass. The lead is getting closer and closer again. Pettigrew has now caught up to Ethan Marks, but he comes into pit road. But is it too little too late, as Baguette Boy is now right on his heels. Ethan dove into the pits. Probably had damage on his car. Just gotta hold on for 3 more laps. We have 3 to go. Seems like there's little pairs all throughout the field. You got Pettigrew and Baguette Boy, Alfredo Saucy and McFarland, Snoop Dogg and O'Laughlin, Steersman and Big Bob, Christensen and Hubbard, and then Edgelord and Bone. But they're on completely different laps. Baguette Boy trying to take a peek. Gone the curb a little bit. Gonna be coming to 2 to go. Just gotta stay in the draft. Baguette Boy just wants to win. But so does Dylan Pettigrew. Dylan Pettigrew's barely in the championship as they come into pit road. Could not stretch to the end. They're gonna have to pit. Broski pits. Will Daniels pit? Daniels is pitting. What about Alfredo Saucy? Alfredo Saucy stays out. It happens again. Just people not conserving their fuel right, as now Alfredo Saucy is your leader. 2 laps to go. It happened again. Alfredo Saucy now just needs to hold on. Farland. It's gonna be a good points day, as now he is ahead of Daniels. So is Karl Marx. So it turned out to be all right in the end for the championship. Can Alfredo Saucy hang on? Got 2 laps to go. Alfredo Saucy has only won 1 race in this league ever, as he has lap traffic ahead of him. Ethan Martin for 42. But he will not be allowed to get by. But now he finally gets by, but is it too little too late? O'Loughlin pits. He could not hold on. He is going to give up the podium to Baguette Boy. Baguette Boy got by Pettigrew, as McFarland is now struggling to get around Martz. But he finally did get by. He'll have really 1 to 2 more shots to be able to get it. Here we come. Here's been the major passing point. Oh, McFarland is not close enough. Alfredo Saucy coming up to turn 6. 6 turns to go. And he'll finally be able to get that elusive second win that he has been struggling to get. His first win and only win. Oh, he goes wide. He goes through the dirt. McFarland gets the lead. He screws it up on the final lap. That has to be painful. I don't want to see Pettigrew. Show us the footage. Alfredo Saucy could not be able to do it, as Bob McFarland is going to win at Laguna Seca. It's Alfredo Saucy. Felt the pressure. Heartbreak for the 77. He had a couple turns left to go. Unbelievable. But this is amazing news for McFarland and Marks. They finished first and third. Well, their biggest competition, Jack Daniels, finished 12th. I think this is exactly what McFarland wanted. I think for Alfredo Saucy, it was still a good day, regardless of what happened. Karl Marx finished third, worked his way through the field. Bob McFarland, though, an accomplishment that we have looked over so far. Last to first. 17th on the grid to first. Think he earned this win. Alfredo Saucy gets another podium. Karl Marx will finish third. What a race. Absolutely what a race. As here are your official finishing results. Bob McFarland wins by about 9/10 of a second over Alfredo Saucy. Karl Marx will take third place, as Baguette Boy will get fourth. Dylan Pettigrew will still need to wait on that road course win, as he finishes fifth. Chad Broski will finish sixth, as Icy Cow will grab seventh. Steersman takes home eighth, as Brendan Hubbard will be ninth. Big Bob will round out your top 10 in 10th. Christensen started on the pole, but had a weird issue. Right before the restart, he'll finish 11th. Jack Daniels, it happens again to him. Just needs to get better with his pit strategy, as he'll finish 12th. O'Loughlin 13th. Snoop Dogg will finish 14th. Edgelord last car on the lead lap, 15th. And then Ethan Martz will finish 2 laps down along with Moncherbone. That is it here at Laguna Seca. What we thought was going to be a non-entertaining finish ended up. There's the turn right there where it happened. Turn 7. The entrance of the corkscrew. I've seen passes through the corkscrew. That was another one. Except this time the car going through the dirt was the one that got passed. Well, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Next race is at Martinsville. Half mile. That's gotta be entertaining. May come out later today. We'll see. But I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.